Hi, this is Sudharsan from Bversity. So I think you must have definitely seen us building launching different products and launching different courses and programs over the years. So now I think we are stepping also into our fourth year as a company, and we have something very, very, very boldly built, is what I would say, or even from the thought process of, hey, what is this all about? I think it was all very boldly built. You might find this for a lot of people doing it in the business education, but for the first time ever in the science space, Bversity has built a life science degree itself entirely. Okay, we have built both bachelor's as well as master's, but here I want all of you to listen to see what is something that we have built phenomenally and fantastically well in the master space in the biotechnology. So as this says, we have built industry integrated biotechnology master's degree, which is M.Sc Biotechnology, that comes along with a bunch of specializations, which gives people a very clear direction or a career path. So that's what the best part of this is. So I want to start first by telling you all what's the reality of the life science industry in generally out there, right? So, and then I'll go talk about the details of the program. So even if you look here, today you can you who people who are watching here, you could be part of someone who's already doing masters or wanting to do masters, all of these things. Generally the degrees that you might have enrolled or might have seen in the market or in other colleges generally just stops with research and development. Okay, I want you guys to go do your own research to see, hey, does my degree go beyond research and development? Because I know for sure that it stops there. But what we have seen generally in this entire industry over the last few years is most of the workforce or most of the jobs or most of the high paying careers and jobs basically lies after the research and development. So this is a very, very, very sharp observation that we have done over the last few years. And if these are the job roles that will make someone build a successful career, why nobody is building something for that space, or why nobody is there in that space even working? But you know what, we have a lot of professionals who are successfully built their careers in the biotech space working across these domains, but as students, as learners, we just don't look into all of those spaces. So this is what we are trying to solve here at Beavers. Like I said, the master's program that we have built was basically built with that fundamentals, that can we go beyond the research and development and cover the rest of the value chain. So we call this as industry integrated master's program. Okay, and the best part, it comes with a lot of industry immersiveness, is what I would say, which is the curriculum itself is basically vetted and built by the industry professionals. People who are going to teach you are going to be industry professionals. You're going to work with projects that the industry gives you. And the best part is the entire second year, which is semester 3 and semester 4, will be working in the industry as part of the entire program itself. And also, something that you will not see in the life sciences space, you have basically a bunch of specialization pathways that you can basically choose, so that that gives you a very clear direction towards where do you want to go, at least in the life science spaces. Because I know that most of you studying life sciences, you get stuck to say, hey, no, I don't know where to go, I don't know which path to choose, right? But at least here we have a bunch of specialization pathways that someone can even pick up. Like we have bioinformatics, genomics, we have gen AI and ML, we have biotech business management, we have clinical data regulatory, a lot of specialization pathways that you can probably go pick up. And like I said, this program is built by the industry professionals, is vetted by them. We have a bunch of good companies here in the space, also individuals who come from the space, leaders who come from the space, who've been with us in this journey over the last 3.5 years, supported in different formats out there. To begin with, we have Agilisium, we have Sangeeta from Syngene, we have Forbase Care, we have Decodage, a lot of very industry veterans who've been there, done that with us out there. So I will take a good amount of time in helping you walk through this thought process behind this curriculum framework. Okay, so very simple, to put out in very simple words. Hey, if someone has to study a very good master's degree, enter into the industry, what has to be basically needed for an individual, right? So we basically classified into 5 different components. One is someone has to definitely know the fundamentals, okay, which is the core foundation out there. And the second, someone has to basically know the tools and skills that is used in their own industry, in their own domain, in their own specialization. And third, someone basically needs to specialize into one thing, and there has to be pathway for someone to walk into so that they become specialized. And fourth, they need to first grow as an individual, okay, not in the domain, but grow as individual personalities that makes them who they are. And finally, this is going to be the game changing of this, can someone get transversal, which is, can someone go beyond their domain? For example, if today all of us are biologists, can someone go beyond biology, look at data, or look at tech, or look at business part of it, and see if we can really add value to that entire industry? So that's what we have basically done out there. So if you look into again fundamentals, you will still study the core biology that you might have missed to study in your bachelor's or wanting to become much deeper in that. That includes molecular biology, genetics, stem biology, and all of that stuff. And then when you look into tools and skills, you will have a specific set of subjects where you only focus on tools. Like example, say we have programming languages like Python, R, AI tools and skills that's required, data tools and skills that's required very specifically out there. And then, like I already said, we do have domain specific pathways that you will basically choose from your second semester so that you can get into a specific direction. And number four, like I said, we have a lot of activities throughout the year built so that you become an individual worth noticing to the industry professionals or worth noticing in the industry. So we actually spend a lot of time in helping someone build their personality or their individuality, because I think I also personally feel that if you're not able to, how do I put it out, if you're not able to communicate who you are, what drives you, or why do you even pick what you're doing, I don't think you would be able to stand out in the market, right? So every Bversity student, if you go talk to them, if you go watch their videos in our YouTube channel, you will find a different personality for themselves. Someone would have transitioned their journey all the way from this to this. You might find people very inspiring who would have worked for somewhere, who worked in a BPO, did this in a part time and landed up somewhere. So I think it's that individual personality matters a lot that we really spend a lot of time with. And then especially the transversal skills, like studying biotech, can you know what's happening in different like in say in different domains? Can you get those skills so that now you can be someone who can go beyond in that industry to add value, right? And I think this is where we get to interest. We call this the 4 stage progression from learning to industry. What exactly happens? Well, like how do your journey basically gets into? So to put out all the academics part, you'll be put across 4 semesters, 84 credits put together, and you can split what goes as well. So 42% predominantly you cover your coursework, theory, and all of that. More than half, which is close to 60%, you will be basically with the industry, working on industry problems, a lot of industry things that happens out there. So semester one, you are in your immerse phase where you majorly focus on building your foundational thinking, not just biology, but across biology, data, and systems. Can you look biology as an industry, not just as a subject? So that's what we get. It's like it clearly says shift from subject-based learning to systems thinking. And these are all some of the subjects you get into. Even from your first semester, you start learning AI, you start getting AI literacy, you start understanding a little bit of programming, biostatistics as well, and all of these things. And like I promised, your core subjects will not go away. You still learn molecular biology, genomics, and all of that. And your second semester, where you get to integrate things, where you actually build depth and domain connected with the real world industry or with the real world force, right? So as it clearly says, now you start shifting from systems thinking to operating within the frameworks. Now how do we think within the systems? And this is where you get to choose your specialization tracks. So you have bioinformatics and genomics or computational biology, you have AI and machine learning for life sciences, and then you have clinical data and research operations. You can ask me, Sudarshan, why these three? I'm probably interested in something else, right? These three specializations will put you on a high paying career pathway in the biotech ecosystem. You can go Google them across, you can do your own research. If you end up studying either of these three, you will definitely be in a well paying job in the industry, starting with an average of 6 to somewhere 15 LPA you can get yourselves into, right? Where from your third semester you can go work in an industry as part of your curriculum, and we do have a global immersion planned for all of you as well. We give access to European biotech ecosystem. We have partnered with a bunch of universities out there in Europe, USA and Singapore, where we spend, or where you get to spend somewhere close to 2 weeks to understand how that ecosystem works, build all of that network and this, right? And your fourth semester, it's again called as practice school 2, where it's mandatory that you have to spend this semester entirely in an industry. Okay, this is where you become that individual of learner to a professional out there. Like we said, this is where you will basically solve real industry problems sitting inside the company working with the real teams, right? I don't think you would find such a industry immersive program anywhere else. I'm sure it would have been very, very, very clear how your journey will go through all these 4 years or the 4 semesters out there. So, like I said, this is the only structured journey to build capabilities for a successful career. So, we have done anything and everything to make sure that, hey, how can someone build a really high successful career in the biotech space? Yes, so I would say that this is one of our best products, our best work done, because the entire team has gone beyond and above to see, how do we add so much of value to this ecosystem. And like I said, these are some of the institutions that we have partnered with on a global scale, where you can go learn a semester or do a course, or probably spend there for a couple of weeks to understand how the global network works. And over the last, like I said, 3 years again, we have taught to 300 plus biotech people who have done their postgraduate with us. I think these are all some of the amazing learners that I have. Like I said, we have done all that we really can and put out a very stellar degree program in the biotech space. Like I said, the goal is not just to build a biotech degree, but the goal is to help all of you build a successful career in the biotech space. And I think there is no other life science degree who can put you on this kind of pedestal, because the existing biotech degrees that we have seen in the market or that you have seen in universities majorly only cater to the research and development. Like I again stress upon that. So I'm sure this biotech degree will not just cover research and development, but also across the value chain. If you are someone who still wants to do research and but wants to use technology in the same, I think you will not find something very, very, very holistic for all of that. So if you are someone who is watching until the end of this, here you have a QR code also, you will find it in the description. Our applications are open, so please do apply for it, see if you're eligible for it, and let's build a beautiful biotech ecosystem from India. Thank you so much, all of you.